This is the braid stitch. It's also called the cable plait stitch. It forms a decorative line of loose, round knots that are joined by slanted stitches. We're going to start by working from the top of the fabric to the base between two parallel lines. You can also work the stitch horizontally, but we're going to start on the top left and work vertically. So bring your needle up under the working thread and wrap the thread around the needle once. Bring the needle over to the right line, and then you're going to bring it back up on the left line directly below where you began the stitch. Then you want to pull on your working thread a bit and tighten up the stitch around the needle. Pass the thread underneath the tip of the needle, and now you're ready to pull through. And that's the first stitch. So the needle comes up under the working thread and wrap the thread around once, and then take the needle to the right and down, bring it up directly across on the left, tighten up the stitch, pass the thread under the tip of the needle, and pull through. Again, the needle comes up under the working thread, wrap the thread once around the needle, take it down on the right, bring it back up over on the left, tighten up the stitch by pulling on the working thread, pass it under the needle, and then pull through. And you can see here the slanting parallel stitches that are forming down the line. So the needle comes up, the thread goes around, going down on the right, up on the left, tighten up the stitch, take the working thread behind the needle, and pull through. You can work the cable plait stitch with a finer thread over a narrower line and get a better braided result, or a more compact braid. But to demonstrate the stitch, I'm using a number 5 pearl cotton, and my stitch is about a ½ inch wide. So the needle comes up, thread goes around, we're going down on the right, up on the left, tighten the stitch, pass the working thread behind the needle, and pull through. And one more time, the needle comes up, the thread goes around once, then we're moving over, down on the right, and coming up on the left, tighten the stitch, pass the thread under the needle, and pull through. You can see the slanted lines here. They're parallel all the way down on the left. And I could anchor this right below, but I like to keep the parallel slanted line. So I'm going to anchor right below the middle of the stitch here and pull through. And that is the braid stitch. For more tips and techniques on hand embroidery, stop by and visit me at Needle and Thread.